Gigi, and thank you for your support.
Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College, your journey to success starts here.
All My Relations Arts invites you to Creation Story, a new exhibition exploring Native creation stories through contemporary art. Join us Thursday, May 8th at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis for a reception and curators talk from 6 to 8 p.m. Discover how storytelling and artistic expression shape identity, culture, and resilience. Creation Story invites all to connect with Indigenous identity, spirituality, and creativity. Learn more at allmyrelationsarts.org. Celebrate the past and present of Native creativity in this powerful, community-centered exhibition.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The easy all-in-one plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus many extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
At Metro State University, students learn from expert instructors in high-demand degree programs like healthcare, technology, cybersecurity, teaching, and business. As one of Minnesota's most diverse universities, Metro State is dedicated to providing a welcoming environment for all students. Explore 60-plus bachelor's programs at their May 29th open house in St. Paul. Learn about how free tuition is possible for eligible students through the North Star Promise Scholarship. Visit metrostate.edu/open house. Know your power. Metro State University.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Clear tonight with a low of 47, then Friday sunshine with a high of 84. The music is still the hottest at Crooner's Supper Club in Fridley. Crooner's is located just north of I-694 off Highway 65 and Moore Lake Drive. View their upcoming music schedules and food menus at croonersloungemn.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade, which means distant thunder. Hey, Cudagy Wee to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dick. This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Yes. Hey, getting ready for tonight. People, I know I ran into a few people that listen to the show that went to, that I met at the last opening, Haley, at the Four Sisters, or not the Four Sisters, excuse me, All My Relations Art Gallery in Minneapolis. And I'll be heading over there, right over there. And the curator talk starts at 7. And they have like refreshments and things at All My Relations Arts on right next to Powwow Grounds on Franklin Avenue. Oh,
yeah, this is with the Native American Community Development Institute and their art gallery, All My Relations Arts. They are doing their opening of Creation Story, which is the newest exhibit coming. The originators of this exhibit are Keith Braveheart and David Meyer. Some of the featured artists, I just want to shout these people out. Hopefully I say your name correctly. John goes in center. James Starr comes out. Michaela Patton. Randy Lynn, Boucher Giago, Dwayne Wilcox, Diane Whitehawk, Marlena Miles, Talon Duke Chanel, Keith Braveheart, Jada Great Eagle, Kylie Wanati Thunderhawk, Angela Babby, Destiny Big Crow, and Billy Jonas. Wow, this is going to be a huge exhibit.
Yeah, definitely a lot of people there and a lot of great artists and a lot of names we know. And we're going to have a couple of these artists on our show coming in the coming week. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, if you can get over to All My Relations Art Gallery tonight, May 8th, that curators talk is going to get started with refreshments and snacks at 6. The curators talk will be at 7, and that'll go until 8. The address for that is 1414 East Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis. Get on over there. I think Powwow Grounds usually does the catering before the curators talk, and I know, Robert, you and I are both a fan of those bison meatballs. They go quick, so you want to get there
You
early.
took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, I know I did.
Exactly. I wasn't going to mention them because then there'd be more people showing up and eating my meatballs before I get there. Oh, wow.
They do have other options too, if
Yes.
that's not your thing. So
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and they do. Bob Royce does a great job catering. So
yeah, all the time. We love Powwow Grounds, really.
yeah, exactly.
Even the cedar tea. I want to shout that out. It's so
Oh,
refreshing.
yeah.
The cedar tea.
You know, you can make that with
Mhm.
we can talk about that some other time, but it's not that
True.
hard. There is ways to make cedar tea out there, and you want to put lemon and honey in it too,
Ooh.
and boil it. And I know during COVID, I guess I'm going off subject here, but COVID, I was making cedar tea because I wanted to fight COVID. That was before they had any
Yeah.
shots or anything, and people were going back to the sacred ways.
Yeah, good to just have every day. I like to have it in the morning, like you said, with honey and stuff.
Mm.
Going back to the curator's talk or the creation story exhibit, that will be on view tonight, May 8th, and then through July 26th. So you do
Mhm.
have some time to get out there. The Four Sisters Farmers Market starts up next week, so that could be a good time to check out what's going on at the exhibit also.
Yeah, perfectly. And tomorrow, right after the show, and the Ho Chunk 5K will be happening. The run walk, free family event. Registered at Eventbrite, but I've talked to them now, and they said just show up. They got T-shirts. They've
Sweet.
gotten extra T-shirts. So it's the 14th annual Ho Chunk 5K, founded by Vice President DeLong when she was working for St. Paul Public Schools. And expect a meal, a DJ, and T-shirts, and usually a raffle. So I just want to give that a quick shout out
Yeah.
tomorrow, starting at 5. So bring your transistor radio and listen to the show and walk.
Yeah, or run if you want to run. I want to shout out too also quickly before we get Dr. Stately back on with us today. AIFC American Indian Family Center will be hosting their annual open house tomorrow, Friday, May 9th. During the day, this will be from 12 to 2 p.m. It's going to be at the American Family Center in St. Paul, 579 Wells Street. It's going to be outside, so dress for the weather. It looks like it will be sunny and warm, which is awesome. Come ready to celebrate American Indian Month with great laughs. There's going to be a light lunch and fun activities for all ages.
You know, in the past too, they've had some rockin' T-shirts. So again, I will be trying to get over there for that.
We know you love your T-shirts, Robert.
Great. Hey, let's bring. Should we bring Dr. Stately on?
I would love to.
Right on. Hey, we have Dr. Stately, our friend that's usually on Monday, and I really appreciate you coming on again. I know we had a limited time with you last time, but it's great to have you back on and talk about a few things, and especially what's going on in the community. And you know, it's kind of a double-edged sword. We always want to wish happy Native American Month here in Minnesota, but you know, we've gone through some sorrows, and you were excellent in the last show talking about that.
Oh, well, thank you, Buju, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, Dr. Stately, we had Ho Chunk on yesterday. Matter of fact, we had an all Ho Chunk show. We had Arvina
Ooh.
Martin and, of course, Haley, myself, and John.
Nice.
You were with John in, believe, Albuquerque?
Yeah, John. Yeah. Yeah, John Hunter, Mr. Hunter.
Yeah, John Hunter. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. He's
can you
been
tell
a
us a
long
little bit
time.
about that?
Yeah, sure. Well, I've known John for a really long time. My kids played lacrosse with Twin Cities Native Lacrosse, which is his organization that he started. I think I want to say a little over 10 years ago, maybe longer. I feel like it was longer. But my kids have played wooden stick lacrosse, and then also for his contemporary lacrosse team over the last several years. I think they stopped about 4 years ago. They stopped kind of playing lacrosse in the middle of the pandemic. It was kind of challenging to maintain them in two sports too. After I stepped into the role that I have, just kind of like navigating hockey and lacrosse as a busy father was really challenging. But he is just really a wonderful, amazing human being. John and I have, John is I would say a community partner. He's part of a coalition of community member partners that we have here at NAC on a research implementation project that we do called Project BRAID, which stands for, it's an acronym. Project BRAID stands for Building Relationships Across Indigenous Endurance. The D in BRAID is actually the D in endurance. So anyway, ever see the logo, it's the D is capitalized with the line under. But really that project was built out of my own experience as a parent of young boys who had like really a transformative, I think, kind of experience early in their lives playing wooden stick lacrosse. And so the project we built around that really was based on what I had seen my kids do, which was my sons picked up a lacrosse stick, had never played lacrosse ever before in their lives. And within 5 minutes, they were like scooping and managing the ball really well. And they built a whole network of people and friends and relatives around that game. And so I thought it would make a really great intervention project. And so we've been working together on that project for about almost 5 years now. So.
Wow, that's cool. Hey, we're here with Dr. Stately and Executive Officer at Native American Community Clinic. And Dr. Stately will mention this again, but I wanted to let our listeners know in the last 15 seconds that we have a cancellation tonight.
Oh yeah, drum group that we have every Thursday night from 5 to 7 o'clock at NAC is canceled for tonight because our drum leader is out sick today. So we'll have it next Thursday night.
Cool. We'll bring it up again next segment. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune into Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
Everyone wants to maximize their dollar. If you're looking for a new vehicle, the only place to go is Rudy Luther Toyota. Consumer Reports Best of 2025 edition has the most reliable vehicles as Toyotas. The Toyota Corolla, RAV4, and RAV4 Prime top the list of the most reliable cars. And Toyotas are fuel efficient, meaning less money at the pumps. Consumer Reports Best of gas mileage ranking has the Prius Camry, Corolla Cross Hybrid, RAV4 Hybrid, and the Highlander Hybrid top of their classes. Reliability and fuel efficiency, you'll find them both at Rudy Luther Toyota, 5 miles west of Minneapolis on 394.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Hey, we are with our friend Dr. Stately, and we are talking about a couple things, and I just want you to blast out that before we get going back into the nuts and bolts of what we were talking about earlier. Just again, tonight's drum and dance will be canceled because due to illness.
Yeah, at our clinic, we held a men's drum group. They do a bunch of things. They sing, but they also sometimes do drum making. They've done flute making. They've done stick making, all kinds of different things. But that's a group that meets at our clinic here every Thursday evening from 5 till 7. They're canceled tonight because our lead drum person is out sick this week. So we'll continue that next week. So if you come to drum group, or you have someone who you know or love that comes to drum group, or if you ever want to come to drum group, we'll be open next week. Everyone in the community is welcome to join.
That's awesome. And I know Haley brings that up when we talk about events. And so that's good that we got that update. Yeah, again, we're here with Dr. Stately, and we were talking a little bit about John Hunter, and we had him on the show yesterday, and how you work with him, and how we talked a lot about how health, spirituality, and all these things that you possibly wouldn't think of in a sport. And what you mentioned too, which really kind of rang a bell for me, was how your sons kind of grasped onto it, like it is the creator's game and the creator gave it to us.
Yeah, it was really fascinating to me to see them at 5 years old, having never ever played lacrosse in any way, shape, or form. They picked up a wooden stick lacrosse stick, and within 5 minutes they were like scooping the ball and cradling it, and then like that day they played on the field with a bunch of other kids that they didn't really know. They made some good relatives at that game that day. It was just a pickup game demonstration that he was doing at Osseo High School, I think, field. That was I think my sister Ramona, who used to work as an Indian educator at Osseo schools, told me about it. But I think one of the things that was really very fascinating was I was standing next to this woman, and her sons were playing on the field as well. Her name is Evelyn, and she is from Lower Sioux. And we were just talking, and our sons started kind of playing together and stuff like that. Turns out she was living in Shakopee at the same time I was. And then, so we started chatting and talking. And then it turns out, as we just started kind of talking more about our lives and who we are, where we're from, and who our families are, turns out her mom was one of my best friends when I was in high school at South High, and we went to McAllister together. And I hadn't seen her mom or talked to her mom for a good 20 some years, because I had moved to the East Coast when I was in my early 20s, and I had only come back when my sons were born. And so it was just really cool that it was an indication of how this game, this thing that we play, this game that was given to us by Creator for all kinds of reasons. It's a game we can use for solving conflict. We can use it to learn a lot about our original instructions and who we are as Indigenous people, a way of relating with one another and solving conflicts, building relationships, building trust, collegialness, support for one another. Those are really some really great things, skill sets to teach young boys and girls. But what was really amazing was just the relationships that I built with people around lacrosse during the years that they were playing. It became like a little family. I could rely on those other as a mostly single dad at times. I could rely on other people families that were part of that network of people playing Indigenous lacrosse. I could rely on them to help me with the kids, pick them up from school and bring them to a lacrosse game, make sure that they were fed, those kinds of things. And it really gave me the idea for this project that we built at NAC, which is Project Braid is a project that we've been running now for 4 years. We're entering our 5th year. We've implemented 2 of the last 4 years. We've implemented at St. Paul Ames Academy, and we've also implemented this year in Boys and Girls Club at Minneapolis American Indian Center. And that project is a 3-day project, after-school program, where the first day of the week they learn about our traditional medicines, our food, their connection to land, water, and to one another and to community. Spend a lot of time talking about those things. And then the other 2 days of the week, they're playing lacrosse and with John and his assistant coaches. And the intent of the project is to reconnect young people to their relation to the land, water, food, medicines, to one another, to an intergenerational family system, to really promote their health and their well-being, emotionally, psychologically, physically, and spiritually, as a mechanism to improve healthier eating and also physical activity. It's funded through a grant that supports cardiovascular disease prevention. But I built that project through relationships I built with Twin Cities Native Lacrosse, Stream of Wild Health, all of these people that are doing amazing work in the community. I just kind of brought them all together into this program and braided a program together to really support young people in their identity development, their reconnection to our culture, our language, our practices, our Indigenous lifeways as a foundation for health.
Wow. When you mention those 2 organizations, it's funny. I'm a former teacher, and a lot of my students went through the ranks of both of those at one time or another. And that really, those organizations are definitely there for the young ones in the community. So it's great to hear those 2.
Yeah, it's a project I'm really proud of, not because I necessarily think I did something amazing, but I think I'm really proud of it because people who engage in the project, whether they're participants or the youth or the families, we also one day a month we have a family fun night where we partner with natives and Indigenous food labs. We create Indigenous food kits that we give to the families, and then we have a cooking demonstration. They get to taste the food and then take the kit home and make it. And the idea here really is to sort of like highlight and to integrate the work that is happening across our region and in the Twin Cities around this amazing work we're doing to improve the health and well-being of our kids, our families, our communities, and our nations, and to bring it into a place where they wouldn't normally see it necessarily, and to give it more access and more recognition. And integrate it into systems like schools, get those things into systems where a lot of our kids are involved and our families are involved. It's one other way of getting families and kids to trust the systems and to integrate those things into it and have the systems reflect who they are back to them.
Wow. Yeah, bingo. Wow, that's brilliant. And again, I've known students go through this, and they know a lot more, which is not saying much, a lot more than I do about a lot of things when it comes to food and other things that the Creator's given us.
Well, yeah, and I think one of the things that you mentioned at the beginning of this conversation that John and I were at a conference last week in New Mexico. Yeah. That conference was called the International Network of Indigenous Health Knowledge and Development, INIKID. It's a conference that happens and involves all kinds of Indigenous people from all over Turtle Island and from across the entire globe. There was a big, huge New Zealand and Maori contingent there this year, about 100 and some people from Maori, from New Zealand. And one of the things that's really interesting in being in that space, we did a presentation on this project as a breakout session, and John did a lacrosse demonstration with the group. Like, we're in this conference room and we just kind of push the tables back and we start playing lacrosse inside the hotel room, which is kind of crazy actually when you think about it. Cool. But people were really cool, really excited about it. They really had a great time. They had lots of questions, but also it sparked conversations about the way that people do these kinds of things in other places and spaces. And we're trading it and sharing knowledge and wisdom and strategies and technologies and techniques for being able to sort of like decolonize learning, decolonizing health, decolonizing those things that give us health and well-being that are the foundation of who we are. And also people were really cool. They were excited. They asked, there was a local school, well, not that local, it was about an hour north of Albuquerque, that invited John to come and do a demonstration of lacrosse at their school. And of course they thought it was really a wonderful experience. And then those places ask us to come and talk to them about our work and demonstrate what we do. And it's all about building the endurance and strength of and the health and well-being of our communities across communities as well. So it's a really wonderful opportunity to do some meaningful work.
Well, Dr. Stately, President and Executive Officer of Native American Community Clinic here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis. Pinigigi, for all you do, and again, for coming back on. Really appreciate you and the work you and Native American Community Clinic do in our community. So big Pinigigi, thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Hi, Penny here from Nightingale in Minneapolis. Exciting news. During the warmer months, we're extending our charm to the patio. Imagine savoring your favorite dishes outside, surrounded by the lively energy of South Minneapolis near 26th and Lindale. And guess what? Nightingale's patio is not just a dining space. It's also dog-friendly. Craft cocktails, curated wines, and half-price bottles of wine on Mondays are still part of the deal. Open daily 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. with a full menu until midnight. Join us at Nightingale, where good times and great flavors come together.
When was the last time you had your roof inspected for extreme weather and hail damage? This is Chad, owner of AM 950, to talk about the exterior construction company I trust, Snap Construction. If you've noticed new roofing projects in your neighborhood, your home was likely hit by hail last summer and experienced damage. Snap Construction is helping homeowners like you, and they're the roofing specialists I trust. They are the most well-reviewed contractor in the Twin Cities and have a ton of positive customer reviews from homeowners just like you. Even better, Snap Construction's installations are backed by a lifetime warranty, so you know you're dealing with a qualified roofing expert. You want to work with a company that will be here for a long time after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims and will help you through the process. Do yourself a favor and get a free roofing inspection so you have the facts and peace of mind you deserve. Call Snap Construction today at 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP. Or visit snapconstruction.com.
Art-A-Whirl is celebrating its 30th year. This popular free event is the largest open studio tour in the nation, a fan favorite with art lovers, families, and fun seekers alike. With 1,400 artists and 100 locations throughout Northeast Minneapolis, you'll meet potters, painters, weavers, woodworkers, and more. And you'll find all types of art at all price levels. Then there are the terrific bars, restaurants, and breweries in Northeast, plus music, entertainment, and art demos. With Art-A-Whirl, you're set for 3 days of wonder. Start planning now. Art-A-Whirl is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 16th, 17th, and 18th. Visit NEMA.org. That's NEMAA.org for details. You'll find an artist directory, maps, dining and brew guides, event and music schedules, even info on Metro Transit passes and trolley rides. Plus, new this year, a passport app can win you prizes, a commemorative sculpture and raffle, a special beer from prize, and 30 featured artists of Art-A-Whirl. That's May 16th through the 18th in Northeast.
Step into a world of financial empowerment with the Do Different Better show. I'll be your host, Elaine Rasmussen. Join me Sundays at noon on AM 950 as we do a deep dive into wealth education with topics like investing, real estate, and entrepreneurship. No nonsense, tell like it is, keeping it 100 for everyday people like you. Tune in to get practical insights to rewrite your financial future. So each Sunday at noon, let's do different better. You can hear Do Different Better anytime on your favorite app. Learn more about me at socialimpactnow.com.
Peace of mind shouldn't cost a fortune. We keep things simple at Schroman Law because we believe planning for your estate and end-of-life care shouldn't be stressful or expensive. Every client relationship starts with a free consultation so clients have the information they need before making important decisions. From there, we work closely with clients to ensure they are choosing the most efficient and cost-effective plans for their specific needs. Schedule a free consultation today at schromenlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Clear tonight with a low of 47, then Friday sunshine with a high of 84. Let Natural Lawn's organic-based, environmentally friendly lawn care take care of your lawn so you can spend more time enjoying your summer. Safer products for kids, pets, and the planet. No contracts cancel anytime. 100% satisfaction guarantee. Visit naturallawn.com today.
AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Development Institute, or NACD, in Minneapolis.
Hey, we have our friend Tony Drews coming on here. And Tony, it's great to see you. And I understand my Chujunk Haley ran into you a couple of weeks ago, and that's really cool. And, a Native Roots Trading Post has sold your products, and it's an amazing thing, and it's beautiful. We want to talk about you and about your great products and what's going on here. So again, welcome, and please introduce yourself in a good way.
How miwa au Chinoden. Iga e Tony Indigenous. My Ojibwe name is Chinoden, which means big wind. I got that name from my grandma's cousin. But people know me as Tony. Super excited to be on the broadcast today. Thank you so much for having me. Just a complete pleasure. So, how miigwech for having me here today.
Wow, thank you so much too, Big Peeny Gigi. Haley, you met Tony at the Wild Rivers State Park.
I sure did. Yeah, I went out there for the Maple Syrup Day, and Tony happened to be tabling there and had a lot of fun games and big crowds at his table. Everyone wanted to see what was going on.
Absolutely. When you started, I guess the games, your products are called Nashke Games. How did this come into fruition? I really like that word, by the way. How did this come into fruition? And I know it's not been around a long time, but like Haley said, the buzz is out there.
Well, that's great to hear. And I just love the opportunity to talk about what we're doing. I used to work for the Anoka Hennepin Indian Education program. I worked with the Anoka cluster secondary students. And, tasked with helping our Native students make sure they graduate and help them with attendance, but also with cultural enrichment. And, I just worked with about 150 students, just great families. And all of our kids were just super proud to be Native American. Then when we started talking about, our culture and stuff, it became apparent that, our suburban Native students as a whole didn't really have a lot of context about their culture. So I was super excited. Went to the chalkboard. I was going to teach them everything that they needed to know. And apparently, talking about culture and language on the chalkboard isn't very exciting for middle schooler and high schoolers. So I was really struggling on how am I going to be able to share this with my students in a meaningful way? And, just kind of struggling week after week. They didn't have to come down. They sent passes and they were coming down because they wanted to know, but there was no connection there. And David Sam Abun from Mille Lacs had talked to me and given me a moccasin game. So I just brought that into my group with really no intentions, just like something different to talk about. And boy, it just sparked engagement. So I went home and I was like, I need to, figure out how to capture this in a weekly sense. And so I started making games that would convey our culture on my little home printer here. And then my colleagues at Anoka Hennepin was seeing some positive effects and like, hey, what are you doing over there, Tony? And then I'd get interest from people from other districts, and they'd want to buy things I wasn't selling. So I was fortunate before I worked at the Tawai Foundation to get a grant to bring our flagship game, Miigwech, which is a fur trade era game, at a professional level. And there was a lot of interest there. I was fortunate enough to get a grant from the Finnovation Fellowship, who invest in early stage entrepreneurs. So I'm not an entrepreneur, or maybe I am now, but I just knew I had this thing, and they helped me fine tune that. And really what started it too is like we have our cultural hero in Ojibwe, Wayne Abuju. And, of those 150 students I was working with, boy, just a couple of them even knew who he was. And I equated that to like maybe being Christian and never hearing of this entity, Jesus Christ. Like everything about Christianity is based in Jesus, right? Yeah. Everything about being Ojibwe is based in Wayne Abuju. And when you talk about Wayne Abuju, you're really behind the barrel there. So we incorporate all those images into our games to give starting points for like, hey, who is this? And then we can have those conversations. But I don't know if I went off the rails there. Hopefully that was kind of how we answered how we started up. I'm at Big Wind is my Ojibwe name, so I can talk here like a pro.
Well, what Ho Chunk is, we're people of the big voice, so we're right on the same thing. And this is a radio show, so that's what we do is we talk about things. So you're right on track, Tony.
Perfect, Tony.
Yeah. So I have to tell you my experience a little bit, seeing the games, and it was really interesting. Your puzzles, for instance, I had never seen anything like that. So when we had your puzzles down at the Dayton's market, and Wendy, my wife, she put one together so people could see what it was, because really it looked like tongue dispensers with art on it. And what is this? But once it's explained and put out there, also I had a great. We were at Shakopee during the holidays, and we took the cards out of the playing cards that have all this great art on it, Ojibwe art, and we put them out so people could see them, and then people just bought them like crazy. It's just, let's talk about this art and where you've gotten it, and the response that you're getting, I'm sure, is just fabulous, because we, being a vendor of yours, have just gotten unbelievable responses when people know what they're looking at.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. I try to work with as many Native businesses and vendors as I can. I'm really here to promote our youth and our community. And I've just been very fortunate. Two of our we work with about 3 or 4 Native artists, but the 2 that we really started with was Bill Breen. I just seen his work and I really loved it, and I reached out to him, and we share a personal connection with loss, and he really got me going, and he was really our first artist. And then I was able to connect with Chelsea Smith, just a talented Native artist from Bois Forte. And so they really support our work. Nicole Bean has done some work for us in the greeting card area. I just love to uplift our community, and these Native artists has really helped build our brand for us.
Yeah, so let's talk about what's all in your brand, and I'm sure you're getting more and more things. But I talked a little bit about the playing cards and the puzzles, but there's so much more.
Yeah, unfortunately, my brain doesn't stop. So we started out with we have 3 main categories right now. We have reimagined traditional games. So these are games that people have been playing for hundreds and hundreds of years, and just by playing these games, you're immersing yourself into our culture. Something notable about these games is because they are a part of our culture, they do have some cultural protocols around them. And for example, one of our flagship games, the Moccasin game, and that's the game that David Samabun first gave me. In our culture anyhow, it's really a men's game. But the problem is our culture doesn't, our families don't know about this game. Like none of the students I worked with knew about it. Their families didn't. But we were in a conundrum with these games particular. And the Bagasse game is the dish game falls into this. So we really hesitate. Like, how do we do this in a good way? A minimum madazian. Like we always, Akawaya Sema, we always start with tobacco in our culture. So when we started to get to a point where like, hey, these are our games that our community is interested in, and we want to be able to get these out there, we went to elders and we gave them our tobacco and said, hey, our problem, we want to get these out there, but we know that there's these hiccups with them. Please advise. Like, should we not be doing this? And they came back and they said, you know what? This is not the moccasin game. And it's not. Like, our scoring is really tailored down to a real foundational base. They're really just meant as teaching tools to help people learn more about them. And then hopefully our youth will say, hey, I know about this, and then seek out elders to know more about those traditional games. So we call them our reimagined traditional games. Cool. And right now we have the snake game, the Bagasse game, and the moccasin game. Then we have contemporary card games. We have our version of Go Fish. We call it Banashiug. It's a word game. And what we love about this is we provide the Ojibwe to play the game all in Ojibwe. Gawabama, do you see the owl? So we use the verb to see instead of have. And you can play the whole game in Ojibwe with that one sentence. And then we provide on our website free resources. We have videos for all of our games, so you can hear that language too to incorporate it in your gameplay. But of course, they can all be played in English. And then Miigwech is our flagship game. It's to expose our community and really assist teachers and families to talk about the fur trade era. And Miigwech, right, means thank you. That's one of the most common words. But really, there's no way to say you're welcome. And what does that tell us? That tells us that which is a newer word.
Exactly. Tony, I want to get that website out before I forget, because I'm getting some timers. I'm getting old now. I'm getting hard, forgetting to pay bills and things like that. But we won't go there in this segment. But hey, what's the website, Tony?
Yeah, just nashke.com.
So let's spell that out. NASHKE.com. Right on. Cool. Let's talk a little bit more. There's so much to talk about, and there's so many things that you got going on there. People can get on your website, check out the videos, which is awesome to hear, because Ho Chunk play the game too. What game did you say in the beginning?
Moccasin.
Moccasin game. I'm sorry. Yeah, and so that's a big thing with the young ones. I've noticed. So that's cool that these traditions bleed over in different tribes.
Yeah, and that's something like once you start to learn about things, you learn how little you know. And I've learned so much about these games now that it's something that I've been learning about.
Well, heck, that's get you back on for another segment, and how people can and talk about more of your games, because this is something, again, you almost have to be there to see it, to believe it, but also having the videos up there really, really helps. And I think we're taking a break here, right, Haley?
Yeah, we got about 30 seconds. I want to shout out nashke.com. NASHKE.com is where you can check out games. And can people order from there too, Tony?
You can definitely order. We also cater to educators. So we have an educator tab, tax exempt, do special bundles for educators too. Yep. You can order right from my shop too.
Right on. Good question. As always, producer Haley. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
The Council on LGBTQIA2S+ Minnesotans is conducting a community needs survey. Two-Spirit and Native queer voices are sacred and must be heard. Your experiences will guide programs and policies that support our relatives across Minnesota. The survey is confidential and available at mnqt.info/survey. The deadline is May 31st. Honor your story, help build the future we deserve.
At Metro State University, students learn from expert instructors in high-demand degree programs like healthcare, technology, cybersecurity, teaching, and business. As one of Minnesota's most diverse universities, Metro State is dedicated to providing a welcoming environment for all students. Explore 60-plus bachelor's programs at their May 29th open house in St. Paul. Learn about how free tuition is possible for eligible students through the North Star Promise Scholarship. Visit metrostate.edu/open house. Know your power. Metro State University.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Anine, I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
In this portion of the show today, we want to howl in support of our Minnesota Timberwolves. Catch them tonight in the playoffs at 7:30 p.m.
Howl! And don't forget to protect our wolves. It was interesting, Haley and Tony, the Lieutenant Governor is in the Wolf Clan. So there you go. That's we even had the bumper on there. Is that just that came from the skies, I think. Oh, wow. Hey,
sure gave us to it.
That's right. Thank you. Hey, we have Tony Drews on, Nashke Games founder and CEO in Leech Lake, Ojibwe, which my son-in-law is a Leech Laker too. And we don't like to bring that up during holidays, but he is. And
poor Micah.
Micah. Oh, Micah would get mad if he heard me say that. He doesn't listen anymore. Oh, but Micah, yeah. Great. We just had the grandbabies over here, and that's Micah's children. So I got to be nice to Micah.
We love you, Micah.
We sure do. Hey, let's talk a little bit more. So, roughly, how many games do you have, Tony?
Yeah, so we have the 3 reimagined traditional games. We have the 2 contemporary card games, and then we have the 52, 54 playing deck with the Ojibwe culture and art, and then we have puzzles and memory tiles for them. We have 3 games in the works, and we've partnered with Dakota Partners to hopefully come out with a few Dakota games here coming up in the next 6 months or so.
With your puzzles, there's 4. Is it 4 different kinds? 4 versions of those puzzles?
Yeah, so we've taken the decks of cards in our contemporary games. So we have the seagull and the owl playing cards, the go fish cards, and we've turned that whole deck into they each have their own puzzle, and they have their own memory tiles. And same with the Miigwech pack. We have 4 different expansion packs, and we've taken 2 and 2 and combined them into the puzzles and the memory tiles as 2.
Well, I think you should have a Ho-Chunk a puzzle that has maybe some of the mounds out in Wisconsin. That would be very cool. Some of them are still hidden out there, but we got the man mound. That's a very cool one, and then of course bear, and I've seen eagle mounds. But that would be cool. Maybe Haley could whip up a painting there. Oh, wow.
Tony, last time we were talking, did you say that you guys were starting to incorporate some Dakota language as well?
We are. We're working with Sokaduka right now to turn our 54 deck of playing cards, our Ojibwe one, turning that into a Dakota version for our Dakota relatives. So starting to get into that realm a little bit. We're always asked. So I'm Ojibwe, right? I'm from Leech Lake. That's my wheelhouse. So that's why we want to partner with people to do it with fidelity.
That's very cool. Great question. And what's that website again there, Haley?
Nashke.com, NASHKE.com. And you can find a list of the games on there. You can order directly from there and learn more and everything.
And the videos, which I'm a
Oh, yeah.
I'm a visual learner, so that's really good for me.
That's huge.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Tony, go ahead, Haley. Were you going to say
Oh,
something?
no, you're good. I just wanted to bring up, I wanted to see if Tony could, you gave us, or you had the whoopee cushions, and they had Ojibwe language
Jeez, I didn't
written
get
on them.
those.
And
So what we do in addition to the games, we do a lot of in-person events, maybe professional developments for teachers. We're welcomed into schools to work with students. So our whole brand is based on joy, right? If you learn through joy, you're 95% more to retain that information. So we do this big event at the end of our presentation where we ask mostly the students, but maybe the teachers, to help save our language and learn one word. And I teach them the sacred word that, my grandma used to say when I was little. And we really build it up. They really think they're going to get some sacredness. And then we end with boogid, to fart, and then we, it's joyful. Everyone laughs unless they're in middle school. And then, we say, Gigi boogidana, did you fart? And then maybe gawin mashe, not yet. So we're just building off of playfulness, and it's always a hit. So yeah, we love that part of what we do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, the old saying, I was always I went to the University of Minnesota, and Lou Holtz always said, as a coach, if you got them laughing, you got their attention.
Yep.
And so I taught for 30 years with that in mind, but sometimes it backfired, but that's another show and another story.
There is something that I was wondering if I could share too.
Yes.
So the community has been so good to me, and I've been working with our community for my whole professional career. What we do at Nashke Games is giving back too. And in the last 2 years, we've given back almost over $20,000, mostly in individual scholarships to our youth, but also to other community investments. So that's really important to us. And I love just to talk about that when I get the opportunity.
That's huge. That's huge. Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Well, it's our honor. And for the listeners too, we will be launching a community scholarship for $500 very shortly on behalf of Dave Samabun in his name. So if they check out my Facebook page, probably within the next 3 weeks, we'll be putting that out there for the community to apply for.
Wow, Tony, you're a rock star. I really appreciate it. Haley, before we let Tony go, do you have any questions? You're kind of leaning towards that mic. Let her rip. I see that.
Sure. Well, I guess I could just thank you, Tony, for coming on, and I hope to see you in community soon. I'm sure I will, but I wanted to see if you were going to be at any other community events coming up.
Boy, I'm booked solid coming up in the schools because of the end of the year, but we will be at we'll be in Bloomington, I think on the 18th for their art festival. And then Trickster Tacos is hosting a music festival July 5th. We'll be there too.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
The food truck festival.
Oh yeah,
That's gonna be
definitely.
huge.
Well, that'll be cool. Wow. Tony, thank you again for all you do. And then one more time on that website before we let you go.
Nashke.com. NASHKE.com.
Hey, Big Peeny Gigi, thank you so much for coming on. We're going to have to get you on again, especially when you get close to your scholarship so we can promote that to the community. But Tony, thank you so much, really, for everything. And what a great idea. And doing it in a good way. That's just awesome.
Oh, Chimigwich, thank you.
Right on. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, Tony's great. I got to meet his daughter was there helping out at the Wild River State Park Maple Syrup Day, and she was great too. She was covering the table for her dad and teaching some games. So stepping right in there as the next generation.
Right. Well, I'm still waiting. Were you making me some maple syrup? Was that what was going on?
That was my learning year. So next year, maybe we'll do.
We'll have to check it out and tap those trees in that land we have out in White Bear Township. Oh,
Yeah,
what?
they were teaching how to identify maple trees and different types of trees. And it was actually a lot harder, at least for me, because I'm used to having the leaves on them and telling the trees
Yeah.
like by the leaves. But we were identifying them by the bark, which is actually a really great skill to have.
Wow, that is a great school because, I've been told that we have a little buckthorn in that area, so I don't wanna tap any buckthorn. Oh, wow.
No, hopefully not. Or nothing. Yeah, nothing else. I don't know. I don't know what you
Cool.
get out of that.
Well, I'm heading over to All My Relations, and
Yeah.
checking out, the artists we'll be doing that, and, this has been a great show and, great to have 2 Tonys on, really. Antony and Tony, right?
You're totally right. Yeah,
Yeah.
funny.
Cool. Oh, I just lost, Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air.